It is time to get raw. It is time to go down. It is time for the RAWDOWN, the only place for WWE content right here, sponsored by the Turnbuckle Tavern. I am your host, Young Anthony, joined as always with one of my co-hosts, Boney Khan himself. Boney, J-Bone, whatever you want to call yourself. How are you doing today?
Doing good, man. I have to take care of a little bit of business last
Little
couple
bit of
weeks.
business.
So I hadn't been able to be on, so it's good to be back here at the RAWDOWN. Baby.
It is good to have you back. It's unfortunate that we don't have Tom with us, but I think we can hold down the fort for this week. As we have some viewers coming in, Old Fat Guy BMX, how are you doing? This thing is on. And of course, what is a Turnbuckle Tavern video without Tyson himself, as well as Briz? Welcome in. There's no Macho Anthony today, unfortunately. Although
Macho Anthony, but you got the Macho J-Bone.
All right, so we have so much to get to on this episode. We have a hot topic to talk about at the top of the episode. We'll do some little Raw versus SmackDown debating, and then we are going to give you our Survivor Series predictions. But before all that, we got to talk about the Turnbuckle Tavern because we have so many great things going on. Basically, an episode every day of the week except for Sundays. You have the flagship show. You have the Fig Night. You have the RAWDOWN. You have so many great shows that you can turn your attention to on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. Leave us a review on Apple Pods, and you get yourself a sticker sent by the one and only Mike Belcaster. And of course, you're going to want something sent by Mike Belcaster because he is amazing.
Because I am a Mike Belcaster guy.
He is a Mike Belcaster guy at the end of the day. And also, while we're talking about things associated with Turnbuckle Tavern, go ahead and get your very own shirt. Of course, you can only see 3 here, the only shirts that you really need at the end of the day. Young Anthony, go be a Paw Vince, Boney Khan himself. But you can get all of your tees over at prowrestlingtees.com/tavern. So many other options to choose from. You won't go empty-handed with all these options. J-Bone, before we get into this episode, tell me what's going on with Coming Down the Aisle.
Well, this week, just like how the Turnbuckle Debate, they celebrated their 1-year anniversary, the Coming Down the Aisle podcast is also celebrating their 1-year anniversary this week.
Look at that. Congrats.
Thank you. And we recorded my interview segment last night with the one and only, the husband and wife pairing from the Chick Foley podcast, Sheena.
Nice.
So we had a great discussion about their fandom, and we watched Roman versus Brock from WrestleMania 31. So
wow,
it was great. Nice. They were actually in attendance, so they got to relive it. But yeah, and we got also for the my newest series on YouTube, Free the Fig, where I got where I have posted this guy, the Zodiac, maybe
the Zodiac.
And then upcoming soon will be I'm an ass man. Yes, I'm an ass man.
The one himself.
So it's really exciting times, and like I said, the Turnbuckle Debate, check that out because it is with none other than Sam Roberts, not Sam Wrestling. And it was a great debate.
So. Yes, it was an awesome episode. Please go ahead and check it out if you haven't already, and check out the year-long content of the Turnbuckle Debate because that is easily one of my favorite shows in all of wrestling podcasting. But that's another discussion for another day because we have so much to get to and not enough time to do it. So let's jump right in to our first topic. We're not really going to go in order of what we usually do. We usually go outside the ring news and the hottest things from Raw and SmackDown because we have a hot topic that we wanted to bring to the table. Boney, you wanted to talk about it, so why don't you go ahead and introduce this topic, and we'll talk about it.
Well, according to Uncle Dave, and if Uncle Dave said it's got to be true,
absolutely.
Wrestling Observers, they're reporting that the WrestleMania ticket sales so far are lower than the company expected, and that they feel like the tickets would be easier in terms of pricing since the event is going to be taking place over 2 nights. But WWE failed to live up to those expectations and have raised the ticket prices higher than anticipated, scaring some fans away from purchasing tickets for the event. So I find this kind of interesting because there's so much malarkey, I guess. I don't know.
Malarkey.
Malarkey. That's a good white guy term right there.
Malarkey.
That's a little shout out to the Chappelle show. But like with the 2 nights, and I know they talked about it in one of the debate shows recently. Should WrestleMania be 2 nights? And but not only that, like, how are they going to draw two nights?
Mm-hmm.
What possibly could go on last?
So
you got The Rock. He's out there saying he's not going to be out in there,
right?
I don't honestly. It doesn't make sense to put The Rock in Dallas, to be honest with you. So I don't know.
So here's what I'm thinking, right? You remember when they did that whole announcement of like the next 3 years of WrestleMania? Like they announced that it was going to be in Florida, then in Dallas, then in Hollywood. So what I thought was that you would get the 2 nights of WrestleMania for 37, and then in Dallas, it would be 1 night, but that would be a way to make up for the previous year where there was no fans, because now you're selling 100,000 tickets, or give or take whatever the number is. When they said that it was going to be 2 nights, now, in essence, you're going to have to fill 200,000 seats in 2 nights. So yeah, it's just interesting that like they would really go for 2 nights, especially, with the roster that they have right now. It's not very star packed. So you would want to have just your biggest stars on 1 night. And it's interesting that
I think it is star packed, but I think it's very top heavy. You only have probably just a handful of real, stars. Drew McIntyre,
yeah, but in that
Roman
case,
Reigns.
You would rather like have them be on that one show to really showcase WrestleMania as, your main show of the year. Now, I will say that I have already got my tickets to Mania. I will be in Dallas for that weekend, and I'm looking forward to being at both nights. What I will say is that I got the tickets off of SeatGeek, which, by the way, if you are a wrestling company and you're looking of selling tickets somewhere, don't do it on SeatGeek. It is such a bad process. But I will say that the tickets were a little cheaper towards the beginning, but they're slowly starting to be resold at higher prices.
Okay, so there you go. That's exactly what Uncle Dave is saying,
Yeah, and that's only for the combo deals, because you could either do 1 night, night 1, night 2, or both. So for the 2 nights, they're starting to. I got my ticket. It was in one of the sections, and then I checked the next day, and that same section, the price was raised up like $100. So thankfully, I got the tickets when I got them, I guess. But you're starting to see a lot of resells. You got to go on SeatGeek. If you get the time, check out SeatGeek. Look at all of the seats that are either not filled. And sure, a lot of the arena is already filled, or the stadium rather is already filled. But you would expect there to be a little bit more seats filled for Mania. And the only reason why I would kind of disagree with this, this point that Meltzer's bringing up is that you see resells all the time. Even up until the day of WrestleMania, you're going to still see those seats, being sold at lower prices, higher prices, whatever it may be. But you're still going to see those empty seats on SeatGeek. So,
but do you think they could draw a full crowd both nights?
I think the combo deals help them a lot because the way I see it, no one's gonna want to just go to 1 night. You're gonna go to both nights, Yeah. So I think the combo deals help them. I do think that they are going to have to stack that card. I think that the 2 night I think the 2 night WrestleMania worked in their favor for 37 because in essence, it's the first live show outside of the Thunderdome. Mm-hmm. Of course, you were going to get a good amount of people coming, even with the COVID restrictions. This time around, you really need to build up your card. So, names like Rock, names like Lesnar. I mean, I'm really just pulling from the well here.
Right.
You're going to have these stars come up on the show. Austin is probably going to be your host.
I was going to even say, and I know he does it. He's said it many times. But I mean, I think from Vince, throw that money. You're over there. You're over there. You're over there in NXT. You're building NXT. You're building NXT right now, and you're trying to get these young guys over. You're trying to have your own lab down there in NXT, not have these independent wrestlers so much. Throw money while you can. Throw money at Austin. See if he'll do a match.
Who would you want to, if they are trying to draw a crowd, who would you put Austin up against, or does it not matter because it's Austin?
It probably really doesn't matter, but I think a very fun match to be Austin Owens.
Ooh,
Battle of the Stunners.
Yeah, of course, if we make it to April with Owens still under contract, that would be great. But yes. a heel Owens against a face Austin would be really, really good. I think just like we said, Austin against anyone at Mania would be worth the ticket admission. But I don't know. For me, I'm kind of seeing, him as the host. I think that's, if anything, like the most realistic option. And you're going to have your stars in any capacity. So expect to see even, I wouldn't say he will get in the ring, but at least a Hall of Fame induction for Taker, because we're in Dallas,
Yeah, I agree.
They want him on the show. Just the entrance in its entirety. They will want that. And I think that'll help out a little bit. We do have some comments I want to get to. Briz says current WWE roster is like a warm beer. Put that thing in the freezer. They have nice things, but Vince has completely lost the touch. Sure. Yeah. I mean, that goes without saying.
Go be a pawpaw, Vince.
Go be a pawpaw.
He wants to be a grandpawpaw soon here.
Briz also says that the whole Austin thing is not going to happen.
And I agree. It's very far fetched.
But that's the thing, is that I don't think it's necessarily we want him to get in the ring. It's us thinking, what can WWE do at this point to draw that crowd? And when it comes down to it, you're really going to have to start pulling unrealistic things out of thin air. Things that, like Austin coming back to the ring, will never happen. So it might be, it might not work out, a 2-night WrestleMania. I don't like the idea of it to begin with. I think that when Wrestle Kingdom, New Japan does it, I hate it because why would you want it? Why would you want 2 nights? The whole point is that it's the showcase of the Immortals. You're not going to have 2 nights. It feels like 2 random pay-per-views. Now, although me going to it, I won't care because it's 2 nights of WrestleMania. Why not? But still, I think
it's stupid.
It is stupid. At this point, I would rather them just do a 5-hour show. If you're really gonna do 2 shows,
look WrestleMania 31. We talked about it this week on podcast. WrestleMania 31 was 4 hours. Mm-hmm. That was a great show.
It was amazing.
And even WrestleMania 30, I believe, was 4.5, 5 hours around that mark. But still, it was a great show, and they don't need to put everybody on the card. I'm sorry, Dana Brooke, you don't deserve to be on the card. I don't want to single her out, but Dewdrop, sorry, no.
Dewdrop.
Who else? Ricochet, I'm sorry, no. I know,
which is heartbreaking, but
I mean, you don't deserve to be on the card.
Yeah. No, you said it. I mean, this was a great topic to bring up. I think this is something really to consider. The whole 2-night event, it's got to stop. I really hope after this Mania, we go back to the one-nighters. And I kind of wish that this Mania doesn't go over well so that we have a reason to go back to the one night. But let's do some comments and then we'll move on to the Raw versus SmackDown discussion. Tyson simply says, "Do you want to see people sleeping in the crowd?" Honestly, you might not even see people in the crowd because of just trying to. So I mean,
it's a bunch of John Cena's. It's all a bunch of John Cena's. You can't see them.
Oh yeah, John Cena's going to be all in the crowd. And then Briz, one more comment here. I have a crazy idea. Maybe WWE can use their current talent properly. They don't need anything else. Do proper story. That is a very crazy idea.
I completely agree. But you know what? You also got to have some reality. Reality is they're not doing that. So
yeah, 2 hour. And they also say 2-night event is better because that 7-hour shit does not fly. I mean,
well, yeah, but you don't have to have 7 hours.
You can have a 4-hour card with your top stars, and it's completely fine.
AEW Full Gear this weekend was 4 hours. You know, so it's not needed. So
we are going to get off this topic because I'm sure that we could talk about it for centuries. But we are going to move on to some lesser interesting topics. It's Raw versus SmackDown. But however, I will say, and I want to get your thoughts immediately on this, Raw and SmackDown, I feel like they weren't that bad this week.
They're horrible. They're garbage.
Really? I thought it wasn't as bad. You know, here's my thing, is that I feel like they're putting more of an emphasis on the in-ring talent, and it's helping them. Because you saw a lot of like good, decent to good matches on the shows. You have the 6-woman tag on SmackDown, Hardy and Zayn, Woods and Reigns was good, and then on Raw you had Owens and Balor. Few other good matches that I can't remember right now, but they are putting an emphasis on the in-ring talent. I feel like that's helping them a little bit. But
there's no story to it.
You're right.
The only story is this bullshit Raw versus SmackDown. Nobody gives a crap
and
about
that's
it.
Not even a story that's happening.
And that's like 90% of the storyline. The other 10% are these floating storylines on the peripherals of the championship, like Biggie and Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins, and then you got Becky and Liv.
That's what I'm kind of picking up on from this week.
Convoluted.
Is that they are this whole week, and I'm sure we're going to see it on SmackDown. It felt like every promo was the champion would come out and be like, my opponent for Survivor Series, I'm going to see you at Survivor Series. But then after Survivor Series, and then starts talking about the person that they're actually feuding with on their show.
Right.
And it happened with Becky. It happened for Big E. It happened. I'm pretty sure it happened with, there was more of a story with Orton and Riddle and the Usos, I guess. That's the only one that I really saw some interaction with. Like, are we going to get a contract signing with Biggie and Roman like we did Roman and Drew? Do they care to begin with? Like, it's dumb.
It's horrible. It's horrible. And it's exactly to your point. It's like they're forgetting about stuff. I didn't even know Survivor Series was this weekend until I started watching Raw. I was like, oh, that's Sunday? Like, yeah. And that's a problem. This is one of your big 4 pay-per-view in Barclays Center in Brooklyn.
First show in New York in like how long?
Yeah. And so people, you're like, for you to just kind of gloss over it, what's next? The next event is Day 1, which isn't until January 1st.
Day 1. Oh my Lord. What a
So
name.
they don't even have a December pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So I mean, now granted, they're going to put some of these matches on Raw and SmackDown, which is nice,
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine. I hope they wouldn't be doing a 6-month build a 6-week build to Day 1.
Yeah.
But it's just ridiculous. It really is.
I will say that my one of the lowlights from this week was the so stupid adding and subtracting members of both teams.
Thank you.
This was the worst way to go about. First of all, you announce the teams over social media, which is a whole thing in itself. And now you're subtracting members, adding members. I will say that subtracting Dominic made sense because
Right.
Literally, Pierce said that he wanted a full team of former champions.
Right.
But then yesterday, we take out Mysterio for Austin Theory with no explanation. And not only that, but
Hey.
you look at the SmackDown team, and there is one person on there's one person both not on the men's and the women's team. So we are going into Survivor Series and into SmackDown without a full SmackDown team. And I'm sure they'll randomly just announce it. I'm sure it'll be Von fucking Wagner for the SmackDown team. But like, it's so stupid.
I want to see the Beverly Brothers. I want to see his dad in there.
I would be surprised if I would be surprised if I ever hear the name Beverly or Steiner on WWE programming ever again.
That's not gonna happen, but
yeah. What was your match of the week from Raw and SmackDown?
The match of the week, I would definitely have to say it was standout head and shoulders over the rest was definitely Finn versus Kevin Owens.
Good pick. Good pick.
I think it was just good story, was well told, you know. And I do like how now that Kevin is a heel, he's a heel. That now he's starting to get on this win streak, you know.
Yes.
Bit, you know, so that is a good. I think Kevin Owens right now is hot. And here's a little. I know we haven't got the hot takes. Well, we'll stay for hot takes. I got.
No, give me your hot take. We usually do these throughout the episode. Sprinkle in a hot take.
I think Kevin Owens is re-signed.
Ooh.
I think under the radar he's re-signed.
You think so?
Yeah. And
you see, I've been saying it from the start that now that we're approaching Kevin Owens' contract ending, we are either going to see one of two things. One is a super push for Kevin Owens, or two, the complete burial of Owens. And It looks like we're going with that first route. Mm-hmm. And it makes me think, do we see Owens take that title off of Biggie? And my hot take is, yes, I think we will. Sooner than expected. Because I feel like they want to keep Owens, and you have a heel Owens. I feel like they're going to put that title on him.
It's not a matter of wanting; it's a matter of needing to keep Owens.
Yes, perfect.
You have to keep Owens.
Mm-hmm.
So you pay him, give him whatever he wants. You know, if he wants 200 days out of his contract off, give it to him. You know, if he wants, give him just TV. I don't know. Just pay him, give him good stuff. You know, promise him the world, and because they have to keep Owens.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll see Owens versus Stone Cold Steve Austin for the WWE title at WrestleMania.
Yeah, there you go.
But that's another conversation for another time.
I think, and obviously, I am a little bit more probably biased, I would say, towards AEW. I try to walk the line, but I don't think Owens would be, as of right now with this roster in AEW, a good fit with AEW.
That's a hot take.
So,
what makes you say that?
I think we're kind of getting to a point where we're starting to see a little bit too much. I think they're set basically on their roster, AEW,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he's just going to be kind of spinning his wheels. Now, he may be spinning his wheels in a happier place where, he can be with his friends and, have a good working relationship with the boss, and it's not so corporate and blah 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 blah. And look, if that's him. That's all power to him. I just think he'll be slid into exact the same spot in AEW. Is my thinking.
Yeah.
And and here's why I think they resign. Why would WWE start pushing someone and making them into a star only for them to not resign?
Yeah.
And go over to the competition or go to Impact or whatever.
You usually see the opposite. If they're leaving, they'll bury the hell out of them.
Yeah, and
Moxley,
I don't think that's like a bad thing, honestly. I mean, why would you invest more time if you look on a business sense? Why would you invest more time in somebody if you know they're leaving?
True. You know, that's actually a really good point because I feel like if he was leaving, and you even saw it a little bit in his booking when he was going up against Corbin, he was losing a lot when he was still a
Yeah.
face. Once he turned heel, it was full steam ahead. Well, once he went over to Raw, it was full steam ahead. So that makes me think I'm kind of leaning towards your theory that maybe he signed an earlier contract, you know, around that time that he signed with Raw or was drafted to Raw.
And I mean, he said in that promo a couple weeks ago, whether it was 3 months or 3 years, maybe he signed a 3-year deal.
That's
You know,
I didn't even think of that, but honestly, you might be onto something.
and he is he is a WWE guy, and which most people are. You know,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and what I mean WWE guy, he grew up on WWE. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
And most people did. You know, they're in this generation. You know, but I don't know. To me, yes, he's got that independent wrestler, pro wrestler spirit, but at the same time, he just kind of he has that Mick Foley vibe to me, where he could be that. Hey, I'll say whatever I want, but I'm going to be a company guy at the same time.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I'm saying? So, and that's kind of what Mick does, you know, and he did that for all throughout his career, you know, even until now, you know. So
totally.
That's just my take, you know.
Yeah.
So
that is a very hot take, and I'm slightly agreeing with you on it. Surprisingly, to my surprise, I will throw in a hot take of my own that is not as hot, maybe a little lukewarm, but who knows. Over on the SmackDown side, Toni Storm is going to be your next women's champion on SmackDown.
I could see that, yeah.
Yeah, she has to be. There's no one else that could take that title off for Charlotte that I would be interested in, especially after you turn Shotzi heel for whatever reason.
Right.
Sasha's now a face, but who wants to see Sasha and Charlotte again?
Yeah.
Like, for me, it's your only interesting name is Toni Storm. We saw that little segment on SmackDown. You know, they could be onto something with this, and I would be okay with it. You know, you move on after Charlotte and Becky, and then you go ahead and you put Charlotte and Toni Storm in the ring, and maybe we'll see a new champion. I feel like that's the best way to go.
You got to give them chances, but you also got to give them a little lifeline too. You know, you can't just throw them out in the middle of the ocean back. All right, well, swim back. You know, you got to give them at least a lifesaver. Look at Nikki Ash. Like, they gave her the Strizap and no lifeline. You know, and look what happened. If they're gonna do it, Toni, they gotta give her some. There's gotta be some meat on the bone there. Have her go up against Shotzi. Have her go up against Sasha even.
Right.
But at the same time, they also need to be working on building this mid card, the women's division, so that you can have somebody that can go up against Charlotte or Becky or whatever. That's just my take. I think
absolutely. I never said that Toni was going to be a good women's champion. I think that's the second part of it, is that I think Toni will win the title, but I think she will just be another level to Charlotte breaking that record. And if anyone's going to do it, it'll probably be Toni as the next person up, which sucks. But that's kind of my thought process. But if there's any person to have a lengthy reign with the title on SmackDown, I think it would be her.
Yeah, but at the same time, like I said, they need to work on building this new crop of women. They have Io Shirai's in there too. Let them get their feet wet, but let them get their feet against like a Sasha or Charlotte.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be about the title.
Exactly.
It does not have to, just like good old Jim Ross would say, we just got to have a personal issue. Got to have a personal issue. And
have a personal issue, goddammit.
That's what it's got to surround. And you can do that with Charlotte without her having the title in the picture.
Oh yeah. There's so much to Charlotte's character, both on and off screen, that you could take her and just make her a presence on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give her the title, and she will still be the most interesting woman on your roster, easily.
Yep. And Sasha, and
Sasha.
Here's the thing on Raw, I think Bianca's in that upper echelon of women.
Yeah.
Obviously she was the PWI top woman. I think Bianca's top 25 wrestlers, pro wrestlers right now. I've said that a few times. But Bianca, you got Becky, you got Rhea, but man, have they made her
Her
stale.
stock has dropped.
They've made her so stale.
Yeah.
I thought Rhea was going to be the next breakout star.
Mm-hmm. Everyone did.
But man, have they made her stale. But you can turn it around,
There's always time.
But you can have these women go up against the upper echelon. Let them get a couple wins.
Mm-hmm.
Let the upper echelon women get a couple wins, and make it be about a personal issue. It doesn't have to be about the title.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. We have a comment here from Briz, going back to the Owens discussion real quick. That might be honeypotting Owens, but I think my man is done with WWE. TBH, I also have a hot take in AEW. I don't think you need a title to be a main guy. Yeah, I mean, I think there's so many stories going on right now that it was kind of my point on Hanging with the Tavern, where I said maybe there's too many stories going on right now. But I think that's in their favor as well, because to what you're saying about how you don't need to have the title in the women's division to be a top person. That's kind of the same with AEW, that there are so many top talents right now that they don't need the championship, and they're still getting over, like Andrade, Alistair, Malachi Black, Cody, all these different names that don't even need the title.
And look, a lot of these matches were good, but if you think about it, it was multi-man matches, multi-person matches.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Cody and Andrade, Cody and Pac versus Andrade and Malachi, right? That was a tag team match. Then you had the street fight. You had the Falls Count Anywhere match. These are like a lot of talent in one match.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
If you got Kevin Owens in that's like, okay, where are we gonna put Kevin?
Yeah, the only thing that I can physically see them doing is the Mount Rushmore or whatever.
Right. And on top of that, they just signed Jay Lethal too.
Yeah, that's another thing to think of also.
Now you can do matches with Jay Lethal and Kevin Steen, which would be a dream to see on AEW. But it's just there's just a lot going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going right now.
My Uncle Tony Khan. I don't want him get too lost in the shuffle.
Yeah,
he's a new booker. Let's face it. I mean, he's doing a great job.
Absolutely.
Don't get me wrong, but don't want him to get lost in the shuffle. So
for sure,
I think they're okay on talent.
Yeah, I think so too. We're just about ready to get into our Survivor Series prediction, but before we do that, it wouldn't be the RAWDOWN without debating what won the week. Now, quickly, just in case we didn't touch on anything, we had for Raw, Seth Rollins and the Usos defeated Big E and RK Bro. You had Liv Morgan standing up to Becky Lynch. The Street Profits defeating American Alpha Academy in what was surprisingly a good match. Queen Zelina, Nikki Ash, and Rhea Ripley and Carmella, they did their fucking whatever. Kevin Owens and Finn Balor, which we talked about, was a good match. AJ and Omos squashed Ziggler and Rude, and your main event, Bobby Lashley defeated Rey Mysterio, whereas on the SmackDown side of things, we had Sasha, Naomi, and Aaliyah defeating Shayna Baszler, Natalya, and Shotzi. Aaliyah also got removed from the SmackDown team. What else is new? Los Lotharios defeated Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs. Charlotte Flair walked out on Toni Storm's challenge. Jeff Hardy defeated Sami Zayn, and Roman Reigns and King Woods was actually a no contest. So, in hearing all of this, what won the week?
I'm going to give it a slight edge to SmackDown, and I mean the slightest of
Same
edge. And pretty much my biggest reason is Raw had so much bullshit in 3 hours.
Yeah.
I
think it's always Raw is in the loss here by just having that extra hour.
And I've been actually pretty intrigued by Raw the last couple of weeks, but
Yeah,
it just grew tiresome. I don't know,
always.
a little bit, and the quick shift to, oh hey, I saw what you did to my brother Xavier on SmackDown, from Biggie. Dude, you were just feuding with Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens last week.
It's like the WWE just said, pause, Survivor Series,
Right.
unpause, continue. Like, it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also have to agree with you. SmackDown took the win for me, really, just because of, like I said, the in-ring action. I really liked like all three matches that they had to offer. Plus, Roman Reigns was on the card, so like, of course, it's going to be an interesting match to watch. I don't know, that Jeff Hardy match and Sami Zayn really stood out to me. I would say that was my match of the week. I don't know if I gave
Okay.
my result, but yeah, I would say yeah. Briz also mentions that it's horseshit versus bullshit. It's kind of sad. That's very sad. However, I think that is enough horseshit versus bullshit discussion. Oh, sorry, Raw versus SmackDown discussion, because we are getting into our final segment on tonight's RAWDOWN. We've got a pay-per-view. If you didn't know, we didn't know. Survivor Series is this weekend in the Barclays Center, and we are going to run down our predictions. We have 6 matches currently confirmed, and we are going to go one by one, talk about the match a little bit, give our predictions, and then we're going to get the hell out of here. So we are going to, yep.
I also, sorry to cut you off, I also have Tom's predictions too.
Yes, that is actually important. We are starting up our own. We haven't named it yet, but we're going to have the
We literally
RAWDOWN.
talked about this about an hour ago. I don't even think Tom knows about
Yeah, but Tom's going to find out now. We are going to start up the RAWDOWN Championship, name to be determined, but we are going to.
So Tom has his notifications on silent. Should I call him right now?
Go right ahead. I will explain what's going on, and you call it. But the RAWDOWN Championship, basically every pay-per-view, we are going to tally up, who gets the predictions right, and then at the end, somehow we are going to crown a champion, and it's going to be fun. So we are in search for the first RAWDOWN. I guess we'll just call it the RAWDOWN Championship.
Sure.
I want to come up with a better name, though. But for now, the RAWDOWN Championship will be decided
Sounds
at
kinky.
Survivor Series. It does sound kinky. Nevertheless, let us get into our first match. We have your traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series matchup. Team Raw of Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Austin Theory, and Bobby Lashley, going up against Team SmackDown of Drew McIntyre, Jeff Hardy, King Woods, Happy Corbin, and to be decided.
It's going to be The Undertaker.
Honestly, it's a possibility. I will put it to you like that.
With The Undertaker.
It's interesting how much of a possibility that is, because I was thinking that too.
Well, that's how he debuted. He was the mystery man on the $1 Million Team.
That's why I thought that last year when there was a mystery guest, that was going to be him, but it was Otis, which is not The Undertaker.
No.
So we've already discussed about how there's, all these ins and outs. Person joins, person leaves. With all that being taken into consideration, although I would have liked to see Mysterio instead of Austin Theory, but whatever. Who do you have winning this match and why?
I think I'm going to go with Team Raw on the men's side. I think a lot of those guys got the hot hand. Bobby Lashley, Austin Theory. Good chance to get him, some cred. And then I think we're going to see probably. I think we're going to see Kevin, Seth, maybe Bobby as the sole survivors.
Ooh, okay.
I'll even step up my prediction. Boom.
All right. I guess I have to give my sole survivor too. Then I am going to go. This is tough because I only see one sole survivor coming out the winner, and whoever it is, I see them going into Mania. Now, I will say that the sole survivor is either going to be Owens or it's going to be Drew. Owens will go on to fight for the WWE title, be it at Mania or not. Drew, I see going up against Roman at some point. So maybe it's not WrestleMania, but it's soon. They are going for the world title. With all that being taken into consideration, I am going with Kevin Owens to win as the sole survivor. Now, are we going to include sole survivor picks into our championship? Because I know Tom didn't have any. Okay,
No.
But just to throw it in there, I think Owens is getting that massive push, and it'll continue at Survivor Series.
I was feeling a little froggy, So.
A little froggy. What did Tom pick?
He has the Raw men's.
Okay, so we're all in agreement here.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but that shall be determined. Nevertheless, not much to talk about on this match, and not much to talk about on this match either.
Who could be the mystery man? I'm just
that is. I don't know how we didn't even talk about that. Who is the mystery man?
Maybe it's a new gimmick, and his gimmick is the mystery man. He comes out in one of those.
Have you ever seen on Twitter the vacant page? It's just like every time like a championship is vacant, it's just they have a Twitter page for it. It's either going to be Cesaro or Von Wagner, and it's probably going to be Von Wagner.
I was thinking Von Wagner.
It's not a good thing, but
well, Blake Beverly or Bo Beverly, whoever you want him as his dad he's happy.
Yeah. Briz says magical thing happened. WWE acknowledged that Von Wagner thing happened at SmackDown. Poor O'Reilly said that tonight. Well, it's glad that you watched NXT because I'm sure both of us did not do that. Yeah, it's gonna be Von. Whatever. That's what I have to say.
I can't wait till he's just named Vaughn.
Vaughn. We should call him Wag. Yeah, I think we're both in agreement on that. Like, I'm kind of feeling like it'll be a normal guy like Cesaro, and they'll just slot him in. And I feel like it'll be a Twitter announcement, knowing WWE. But I'll go with Von Wagner, even though it sucks. Let us move on to a match that also no one cares about. Shinsuke Nakamura and Damien Priest. Did you know this match was happening? I fucking didn't.
I didn't know either.
And it sucks because Shinsuke is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Damien Priest is growing on me, and I could not care less about this match. Who do you got winning and why?
Try to sit here and think. Battle of the mid cards, huh? That's just what we wanted to see.
Yeah.
God, I'm gonna go with Damien Priest. I think they're gonna. It looks like they're giving him a little bit more of a pushy right now. Yeah. So I'm gonna go DP.
So I am also going to go with Damien Priest simply because I feel like at this point Shinsuke is an entrance. They kept him around on SmackDown. Yeah, exactly. They kept him around on SmackDown because Pat McAfee does the little kicking around when Boogs does the guitar. As long as you can get your entrance in, Vince will be happy. Nevertheless, let Damien Priest get that win because he has the new gimmick, so it makes more sense. Who does Tom have winning this?
Damien Priest.
Okay. So we are all in agreement. So this either means that we are going to have a triple champion or no one is going to be the champion.
We're starting off pretty bad here.
Oh, my God.
And I want to make it clear, I was not influenced in any way Tom's picks. So
okay.
But there is a pick. There is a pick in Tom that could be interesting.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm sure we'll get to that. But thankfully, we can move on to a match that, no one cares about. RK Bro against the Usos. You know what? I will say that if any of the matches that they announced recently, this would be the one that I'm semi-interested in because it's the Usos.
Some build to it.
There's been a little bit of build, and I know that these guys are going to have a good match. I will give my prediction first. I am going to go ahead and say that the Usos are going to pick up the win here. I think RK Bro is at the point where you're going to start to see them break up, why not have the Usos take the momentum here? And I will go ahead and give it to the Usos to keep up that dominant reign.
And here's the thing. Here's another problem with Survivor Series is it's so predictable. With everything that's going on.
Yep.
Usos are going to win this. We're going to see the decline of RK Bro. They're going to turn each other at Royal Rumble and lose the tag team titles at Fastlane, and then one of them's going to turn heel and they're going to face each other at WrestleMania.
I would love to see a Riddle heel turn.
That's what. That's who I want to see turn heel.
Yeah,
would be Riddle. Absolutely,
might as well. Everyone's looking for an Orton heel turn. So
I have a little story too about Riddle. So today I was at Target, going down the figgy aisle, and there's a guy there, two guys anyway. One of them had like a wrestling tournament shirt, and some guy goes, "Oh, Riddle." He had like an accent, like I don't know, like he was from Europe, and he goes, I used to train with Riddle, and he's like, man, he was so good in UFC until he started smoking that dope.
Oh God,
that's why he got kicked out. That's why he's in WWE now. And I'm like,
oh shit,
there it is.
Yeah, so, who's Tom got for this match?
Let's see, Usos.
Oh my God, this is not good. Yeah,
but Tom's got a little monkey in the wrench. We'll get to it now.
All right. I'll stick with it. But so far we are all in agreement. So this will definitely be interesting. Right. Moving right along to another actually very interesting match, especially with everything that's been happening off camera. We've got Charlotte versus Becky Lynch. Top woman on Raw, top woman on SmackDown. This is probably the biggest match that they could have done. Although it has been a rematch, still it feels different for some reason. Maybe it's the off-camera stuff. Maybe it's different characters with big time Becks or whatever. But for some reason, this feels different. Who do you got?
This is my most anticipated match of this card.
Same here.
And a few weeks ago we were talking about, okay, what is this the Becky Charlotte title exchange? Was that a work? Shoot, I think it's pretty clear now it was a work.
Yeah.
And we knew, like, we were, depending on what happened against, Bianca and Becky. If Bianca was going to win, then it was definitely a shoot. They didn't want to put those two women in the match together. And then you saw that interview with that Becky did with Sports Illustrated. It's the new kayfabe, basically. It's the new kayfabe. I love it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I do believe that we're getting close to this Fox deal. We're going to want to make SmackDown the A show. So we're going to have Charlotte Flair going over big time Becks.
Okay. So this is finally where we disagree, because I'm going with Becky Lynch. Part of me feels like Charlotte could take a loss here. You're building up Becky Lynch as a heel, and you want her as a dominant heel going up against someone like Liv Morgan, who will be the underdog babyface to take that title off of her. I feel like there's no real challenger for Charlotte right now, so you want to build up Becky for the potential challengers that she has ahead of her on Raw. So I'm going to go with Becky on this. Plus, she needs a very good win. I feel like she's had pretty good wins against Bianca and all these different women, but now you really need to see her in and who better to go up against than Charlotte. And it always seems like Becky has Charlotte's number, and I like that kind of dynamic, and I want to see that continue.
And that's another reason why I picked Charlotte, because Charlotte had to put her shoulders on the mat to start getting Becky over.
Yeah, that's
true. And so now Becky doesn't need that necessarily. Charlotte needs a win back. So it's another reason why I picked Charlotte here.
Fair.
But I mean, look, this could definitely go either way.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is the most indecisive match.
Yes. However, I predict that it will not go the way Tom predicts. And this is the monkey that Rich was talking about.
Really?
Becky and Charlotte, the winner of the match will be neither. It will end in a double DQ.
Oh no. Okay. So this is definitely going to be a disagreement here. I wonder what his logic is for this one. A double DQ.
Oh man, I don't know.
I mean, I guess it's smart if you don't want one of them to look bad.
It could be possible.
But
It could be possible, but honestly, it's not out of the realm of possibilities.
that's so typical.
And
it's so typical of Tom.
It's typical of WWE, to be honest with you. Too.
No, that's true too.
It's definitely possible. I just thought it was funny that I picked Charlotte, you picked Becky, and Tom picked neither. He's like, can I get a C in there?
Yeah. None of the above. That's hilarious. I'm very much looking. That gave me a reason to want to look forward to this match as well.
Yeah,
just to see if we'll get a double DQ. If we do, I'm quitting the show.
No, don't quit. Don't quit. Don't leave me with Tom.
I can't do it. Then we are going to move on to another women's match, the Women's Survivor Series tag match on Team Raw. Bianca, Rhea, Liv, Carmella, Zelina, SmackDown, Sasha, Shayna, Shotzi, Natalya, and a mysterious person that we don't know of yet because apparently Aaliyah wasn't good enough for the Raw.
It's going to be The Undertaker.
Again, it's going to be The Undertaker. Honestly, who do you think is going to be in this spot?
Tony Storm.
I think it will be Xia Li.
I got Tony Storm. Okay. That's a good pick too.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like you're gonna see Xia. They've been hyping her up with these video packages, so they could go ahead and give it to Xia Li in this little predicament.
It's going to be Lita. She's going to come back. Amy
Lita.
Dumas.
Oh, my God. Trish and Lita. Why don't you take off Carmella and we'll do Trish and Lita on both teams? But yeah, I'll go with Xia Li. But I could see Tony Storm also being added in here. Ooh, Tyson says Sonya Deville. That could be interesting.
The only thing is Naomi's not involved in somehow,
So that makes me think, like, if anything, maybe Naomi wins a shot and then Sonya takes it away and puts herself in the match. That could be something.
Yeah, maybe, possibly.
I would rather just see one of the newer women like Tony or Xia Li or fucking Aaliyah, be in that spot. But could even be like Raquel Gonzalez or something, someone that they're calling up. Io Shirai, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But this match could be on the cover of matches that I don't care about. Okay?
Yeah.
So,
as is a trend for a lot of these matches.
And I just realized there's 5 women on each side. Or is it 5 on? It's 5-on-5 on the men too.
Yeah, that's Survivor Series.
Okay. Because usually Survivor Series is 4-on-4.
Well, that's old Survivor Series.
Yeah, that's the good shit though. Okay.
Yeah, that's the good shit.
Yeah. Rowdies versus Rude Brood. I mean, come on now. Let's see.
Keyword Tyson had and keyword
yeah.
should have, or keywords should have.
Man, who is going to win this match?
The fans are going to lose. I could tell you that.
Yeah. I'm going to go Team SmackDown.
That's fair. I was thinking of going Team SmackDown, but I want there to be more competition between us. So I will go with Team Raw in this case.
There you go.
I don't, I could kind of see either side. I feel like whoever wins, like if Raw wins, Charlotte will win. If SmackDown wins, Becky will win. Because I think you need to build up your champion, but also build up challengers for the champion that loses, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go with Raw because they have Bianca. They have Liv that they're building up. The other women are there. Yeah, I I can't believe I don't care about this. It's so sad.
Yeah.
Also, Natalia's in this match, so I could give less of a fuck about. Hot take. I can't stand Natalya. I don't know if I've ever talked about that on here, but Natalya and Dolph Ziggler are on my shit list on WWE. AEW is a whole nother conversation. QT Marshall, Sean Spears, I'm looking at you, but that's another discussion for another day because we have to get into. Oh wait, who did Tom pick?
Shoot. Who did he pick? Thomas Montalto picked Raw.
Okay. I guess I agree with him on this one.
Yep.
So we will get into our final match, the main event of the evening, as we get Roman Reigns against Biggie in a match that I am very much looking forward to. I will not sugarcoat it. I think this is outside of Charlotte and Becky, like this will probably be the best match on the card. And it's your two champions. Like, how could you really not look forward to this match?
I could give two shits about this match.
Really?
I could care less.
Really?
I would much rather see Biggie versus Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre or whatever. Somebody.
Well, yeah, Roman and Drew like that. I'm sure they're saving that for the big stage.
Yeah, or something like that. I could give two shits about this match. There's no build up. Why should I care? True. They start building up on Raw.
Yeah, that is
like Happy Gilmore would say, green jacket, gold jacket. Who gives a shit?
Are we all in agreement that Roman's winning this?
If you pick Biggie, you should quit watching wrestling.
That is very true. That is very true.
And I love Biggie, honestly, but I got to acknowledge my tribal chief, who's stacked him. He's pinned him. He's smashed him.
Yeah.
I acknowledge the tribal chief, the head of the table.
Absolutely.
Roman Joe Reigns.
And I guess Tom has also picked Roman Reigns.
He has also picked Big Joe.
I feel like you have to. You
got to. And it'll be a good match, but
yeah, it'll be fine.
But
I think this has the potential to be like, big Roman's matches over the past few months, really his entire reign, he's managed to pull off very good matches. And with Biggie, I'm sure they're going to pull off a pretty good match too. I could see it being like a 4-star match. Build aside. Build aside and everything. I think it'll be
2.5. They're looking at least
really
good 2.5.
I don't know. I feel like this is going to be like a match that
three would be overreaching. Like that'd be like, okay, like that would be, damn, they put on a clinic, Yeah. But if they get to 3, that would be. You got to think how many like 5-star matches have been, versus 4 and 5-star matches there've been.
With Dave Meltzer on the pen recently, you have a 5-star match. Me and you could have a 5-star match with Dave Meltzer booking this, but let's go.
Put up your fisticuffs.
Tom is the ref. I'll go with Roman. Well, we're all going with Roman, but I do think that it's going to be a surprising match. If anything, if that's my surprise, my hot take for Survivor Series. Watch out for this match being the best match on the card from an in-ring standpoint.
Yeah, I think Becky and Charlotte will be the best match of the night, but
that's fair.
This will be the follow-up, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, we have done our predictions. It is now time to watch Survivor Series and figure out who will be the inaugural RAWDOWN World Champion.
When I'm watching Survivor Series, the only thing on that I'll be trying to survive is not closing my eyes and going to sleep.
It's not falling asleep.
Not falling asleep.
It would be smart to write these down, actually, just so we have them in
All
print.
Right.
So quick rundown. I am going with, as I look at these matches again.
So we got Raw, we all got Roman. We all got Roman.
Yeah. So all got Roman.
You got Becky. I got Charlotte.
Yeah. Becky.
Tom's got neither.
Charlotte, neither.
I
What else?
Let's
We
see.
got
We all got Damien Priest.
we all got Priest.
We all got Usos.
We all got Usos.
We all got the men's Raw team,
Raw men.
and then
Oh,
y'all
that
two.
sounds wrong.
Then y'all two got women, the Raw women, and I got SmackDown women.
Raw women's team. Tom has the Raw women's team, and you have the SmackDown women's team.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So our predictions are down, written in ink. So we will keep this to the side, and we will decide who is the first ever RAWDOWN World Champion on the next episode. So that's a little cliffhanger for you to come back.
It's really not a cliffhanger because we all know it's going to be me.
I don't know. It might
I am
be
the
me.
Booker Man. I am the Booker Man.
I am Hollywood after all, and Hollywood always wins. But nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, we are just about ready to wrap up what was a stacked episode of the RAWDOWN. I want to thank you all for tuning in. This was a great episode, and I'm looking forward to seeing who the champion is going to be. Make sure, just a quick final plug for the Tavern. You like this video, leave a comment, share this video with your friends, leave a good review on Apple Podcasts to get your sticker. Make sure you check out all of the other videos and episodes that we have to offer on the Tavern. So much great content. If you're not checking out the Tavern, something is wrong with you. There's something for everyone. There's something for AEW fans, for WWE fans, hardcore fans, for anyone. We are for the people, by the people.
Yeah.
So with that being said, yes, Tyson, it is past my bedtime. 11:03. Interesting. Nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for tuning in to today's episode. We will see you on the next one. But until then, take care.